I want to talk about content. There's been this really big conversation around content being hard, trying to create content, needing to create content, coming up with content ideas, the algorithm not showing content, visibility, and none of that actually matters. Like, it doesn't matter. And you might be thinking, but how can I grow my business if I make money based upon people seeing my content online? And that means I need to be posting, and that means I need to be showing up consistently. The truth is, what consistency is for you will be so different from anyone else. Consistency in your energy is going to take you so much farther than consistently posting online because you have to. I remember when content was really hard for me. And this is why. I used to create content every single day on Instagram since 2012. I would show up and just use it as a journal. I used it as like my own inner reflections of what I was taking away from my life, what I was contemplating, what I was growing through, like what was coming forward and through for me on my yoga mat, my processing of life. And when I shifted to like, I'm really going to grow an online business, and I started thinking about soulmate client and who I'm serving and how I'm helping, I got in my head. And if we try to create content from our head, it's a masculine doing, I'm working, and then we start to should ourselves, have to ourselves, like over question ourselves, doubt ourselves. And that takes away the creativity and the art of sharing your philosophies, sharing your values, sharing what's important, what matters to you, the heart, the depth of your work. And so, how can you think about content in the way of like, I'm going to consciously live my life and contemplate the way I live my life so that you can share that with others? We often think we need this huge breakthrough, this ginormous revelation to impact people. But just sharing the depth of your heart, how you're processing your day, and the way in which you reflect your life can hit someone's heartstrings so much better than the energy behind it of like, I have to do this because I need to grow my business. And anytime we put I have to or I need to, the energy gets sticky. And if we look at why you want to grow a business, it's typically because you want to change lives. You want to help more people. So how can you live a life that is consciously in alignment with this? I want to help more people. How can I live my life in alignment with that and then share it? The way that we can do this in alignment is through knowing what you value, knowing what's important to you. I wake up every day between 3:30 and 5. I go do Kundalini, I work out, I exercise, I listen to something inspiring. That is a non-negotiable for me, which means I have to go to bed early or I wake up tired. And these non-negotiables for me begin to bleed into my life because I don't just wake up and get to work. I tap into my energetic field in my heart. And every day is different. Yesterday, I did a somatic dance practice. And I shared this on my Instagram, just like bawling in tears of how it connected me to my inner child. And for me, I always look at everything that I go through isn't just for me. It's for me to share and connect with my community. And how can that influence them? When we can consciously think, like, your life doesn't have to be extravagant. Like, it can be the way in which you shop for your food, the way in which you wake up in the morning, the boundaries that you have with yourself, and how that allows you to live the life that you desire. And when we think about that in our lives, and then we think about the people that we're here to serve, that we're here to help, how is those values that you have in alignment with what your people desire? And where is the disconnect? Because you once had that disconnect too. I didn't always just wake up at 3:34, 5 a.m. to practice, to connect to my body and myself and my heart. It was something that I desired for a really long time. And there was internal and external beliefs that would get in the way of me doing what I truly desired. And your people have that too, because you once had that too. And then when we are so in alignment with our vision, our mission, who we're here to serve, living a life in alignment with our values and really embodying the work that we're here to share, the Dharma, creating content gets to be easy. And sharing how you are living your life gets to be easy, and it's no longer have or shoot. It's like, this is who I am and this is what I do. And how can I share that in a way that is just me telling the story of where I used to be and me telling the story of where my clients used to be? And if you're already working with clients, like, content gets to come from your clients. Like, every day that I have a coaching call, every day that I'm coaching my clients, something comes through. That's why we're having this conversation right now, right here, is I am having so many conversations around content being hard. Or what about the algorithm? Currently inside of the CEO Ripple Collective, we have a squad. The squad is boosting each other's algorithm. And this is doing a handful of things. The people that are participating in the squad are now more consistent in their content, but also together we are boosting each other's algorithm. But it doesn't matter if one person likes and comments on your post. It doesn't matter if one new follower comes into your world today. That does not matter as much as your energy around, like, I'm doing this because it's what I desire to do, and I am so lit up about sharing my life because I'm living and leading by example. And this is, for me, like, thinking about not giving away your external, like, not giving away your power to external sources. We do, and we have done this way too much. We're conditioned to go to school, to get a job, and work for someone else who pays our bills, tells us when we can work and when we can't, how much money we can make and how much we can't, like, where we stop, where we can no longer ascend into, and that gives away our external power. But when we run a business, we take those things with us. Like, I should work this, I need to do more to make more money, like, I should post this many times. We take those external conditionings with us and we have to undo them. And that takes time. That takes consistency and understanding, like, why are you doing what you're doing? Is it because you think you should or you have to? Or can you come back into this philosophy that I've really unlocked this week inside the CEO Ripple Collective of juggling June? How can I juggle all of the things that there are to do in my life and my business? And it's this idea that you don't need to work more than 1 or 2 hours a day in your business to run a 6-7-figure business. But you do need to be creating. And in order to create, you have to be connected to your central channel, the creation, the creativity. And that comes from being in your body, being in your heart, being in alignment with your soul's purpose, your soul's calling. And that comes through what lights you up. Is it walking in nature? Is it playing with your kids? Is it dancing? Is it moving? Is it meditating? Is it creating like actual art with a paintbrush? Like, what gets you into the zone? And then from there, sharing content, going on a coaching call, changing someone's life in that hour, and then afterwards reflecting on like how this used to come up for you, how you see this continuously come up for your clients, and then come back and share that in your content. Like, this is what's coming up. That's why I'm creating this podcast right now. That's why I'm creating this piece of content, is because it keeps coming up. What about the algorithm? What about, I don't know what to post. I feel overwhelmed with posting. Stop worrying about how to create content. Stop worrying about what the algorithm is doing and stay in your power. Stay in your energy of living and leading your life in alignment with your values, why you're doing this, and let that keep you lit up. I took Wednesday off because I could have kept working, but there wasn't actually work that I needed to do. And I was like, I'm going to go be with my son. I'm going to spend time with my husband. I don't actually need to do more. And through that beautiful day that we shared together, so many ideas came through. And I really began to realize, like, wow, I just had a $2,400 day. I didn't work. And the old version of Amber would have been like, you need to create content today. You need to do this today, or else you can't continue to grow. And instead, I took the day off. I went and got my hair cut. And in that getting my hair cut, I had so many breakthroughs and revelations of like, oh my gosh, I haven't cut my hair since 2020. Like, when I had gained 30 pounds to get my period back, like I cut my hair off to start over. And now we're here at this new moon. And I'm like, this is new energy that I'm walking and stepping into. I've been doing deep identity work. And I think when we come to creating content, it is deep identity work of unconditioning the thoughts that we used to think, what society has given us, and allowing content to come from the heart, and not to let the likes and the comments and engagements throw us off. It matters. Like, who doesn't not care? But like, when it comes to the algorithm, do you care about how many people see your post, or do you care that the right people see your posts and they want to hire and work with you? Because it doesn't matter. Like, people like content all of the time, but they don't actually hit like. People want to work with you and they just haven't hit click here to sign up today. But they will when they're ready. And so the more that you show up in your zone of genius, in your magic, the more likely someone's going to buy. So instead of focusing on the algorithm, focus on your energy. Focus on what makes your soul feel alive, and begin to do things so different. Live unconventionally. Create unconventionally. Do things your own way. And the more that you can do things your own way when it comes to content, I was just having a conversation with a woman in my DMs on Instagram, and she's like, in Italy, they really value the curated Instagram profile. They really value the aesthetics. And I said, yeah, that is true. And you could be the rule breaker to show people that actually it doesn't matter. And she's like, how? And I'm like, your freaking energy, your energy. And like, this is so huge right now as I think about moving into the spotlight, right? Like, if you think about getting more visible, creating your own stage, having more impact than you've ever had before. You would think creating more content, creating better content, and more visibility through the algorithm showing would matter. But actually, your energy behind your content, regardless of how well it does and performs in the algorithm, your energy behind your love for the content that you're creating, like your creative channel flowing through you and how you feel when you do it, is so much more important than anything, because you and your magnetism is what sells. And that's how someone takes the frickin' stage, regardless of what's happening in their reach, regardless of what's happening in their engagement, regardless of what's happening in visibility, because it's like you are the energy. And like right now, I'm walking into the spotlight. We have 85 other women joining this live coaching program with me for you to remember who the heck you are and why you're here. And in the last 2 months of this, me walking myself through the creation of this program, the birthing of this program, I have watched myself experience things that I didn't expect. And yet I feared, like, what if people leave? What if I leave people behind? What if they don't like me? What if they don't approve of me? I wear makeup now. I wear earrings now. I cut my hair. I dance. I do things differently than I've done in a while. And yet I'm coming into this space of more embodied, and I'm growing and I'm evolving. And this is what happens when we take the stage. Right now, there's more people than ever joining my programs, joining my courses, ascending into higher levels. I'm growing more than I ever have in my true tribe. True. Those that are there with you through it all. Those that have your back. My clients now are sending me all these reels like, hey, I feel like this is what you're going through. But this is what we're about to grow through together inside of Spotlight. Spotlight is available to all my mastermind clients. So many of my CEO membership clients are upgrading into Spotlight. 85 women outside of my mastermind have joined Spotlight. And the reason that this is because I'm doing the work and I'm embodying what it takes. And you don't have to do this alone. I have 3 mentors right now, 3 best friends that I go to about this, and my clients holding me. And so when we walk onto the stage, your energy behind it is so important. So you to have the support. But none of that matters. Having friends, having coaches, having mentors, none of that matters as much as your unwavering confidence. And this is what you're doing. This is why you're doing it. And for you to remember, this is who I've always been. This is who I've meant to always become. And that happens from looking at the past, everything that has happened in your life, and knowing that it all happened for you to step into who you are today and claim who you're becoming. And the deep identity work, all the things you thought you needed or you should have to do in order for it to happen, no, it's so much bigger than that. Every time that we claim a new identity, there will be roadblocks, twists, turns, and initiations. And our job isn't to look at those as if it's not happening, or it's not meant to be, or it's not for us. Our job is to look at every single thing that happens on your way there, knowing that this is the path to get there. If you could close your eyes right now and envision who you want to become and feel it, see it in your mind's eye. There is no clear path to get there. The only thing you can do is take action. Take action, because the how is not something you can plan. The how is what unfolds when you begin taking the steps. And it'll never be the way you picture it to get there. It will be through taking action and letting every hurdle and every roadblock and every surprise keep you in your inner knowing that this is where I'm meant to go. And I don't care how long it takes me to get there. I know where I'm going. I know who I am. I know what I want, and I know I'm going to get it. I've watched myself do this when I dropped out of college to study yoga. I didn't know what the heck was going to happen when I moved across the country to study yoga. Like, I had no idea. The first step, sell my stuff, quit my job, stop going to school, get a job in Colorado to pay the bills, get a yoga teacher training. Like, the how just unfolded. When I sold everything I owned to move to Costa Rica and I became an expat, I had no idea how I was going to pay the bills. I had no idea what online marketing was or internet world was. I didn't know what a business really was. But it was through selling all my stuff, moving here, and letting the how unfold. When I left a partner of 5 years, 4.5, because maybe there was something better for me. After losing a baby, after walking away from everything we had been building, and trust that there was something bigger, something more for me. I had no idea how. Leaving a job that was paying me really good money because I wanted to start my business. I put all the money I could possible to start this coaching program. I didn't know how I was going to start my business. I didn't know if it was going to work, but I did. I went for it, and the how unfolded. And so as I started to claim the spotlight, and this situation presented itself to go and do a brand photo shoot, in the evolution of this photo shoot, the experience of this program changed my life, and Spotlight was born. Spotlight was just this little idea I had when I was in Disney World with my son, and we were watching a collision of all the Disneys coming together, and Simba comes into the center of the stage and says, to step into the spotlight. And I was like, spotlight, that's a name. But what has unfolded in the spotlight is really claiming where you're going and your desire for massive visibility, for massive income, for big change in the world. Here we're visionaries. We see the program name, we see the idea, and we begin to vision, we begin to see it coming to light. And the entrepreneur is the one that makes it happen, taking risks and finding out how. So if you haven't already got yourself in the room for Spotlight, it's speaking to you. You want to get really good at creating content from the heart. You want to ditch your desire or care for what the algorithm is doing. And you want to 10x your business regardless of what's happening out there, because you are so solid on what's happening inside of you. You can send me a message on Instagram at Amber Hagberg Spotlight, or you can email me amberhagberg@gmail.com. Get in contact with me any way you know how. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, YouTube, you can just comment Spotlight on any one of my platforms. Brittany, I love you. Brittany's like, I can't wait to get started in Spotlight. We begin June 17th. Day 1 is deep identity work. We cannot get into the spotlight without doing the identity work. And let me tell you, this is a wild ride. All right.